Welcome back, Truth Seeker. If you missed last night's live stream, I talked about this war that's escalating between Israel and Iran. You're probably going to want to watch that video. It was published late June 12th, US time. Of course, it was already June 13th when the war began in Israel. This is a follow up video with some additional information, just building on the points that I've been making for a long time. So something that I overlooked last night, and we did cover this at the time, but it's so hard to keep everything straight. I'm just like everybody else in the United States of amnesia. Nobody remembers anything past Monday because there's always so much that our minds are bombarded with through the mainstream media. They're constantly giving us news stories meant to make our heads spin. But if you go back to April 12th of this year, the anniversary of the start of the American Civil War, Trump that day gave Iran 60 days, a 60-day demand, which they failed to make a deal with Trump on and Israel. And the 60-day limit went with Trump and the many 60 rituals that led up to the 60th U.S. presidential election that Trump supposedly won. But yeah, after the 60 days expired, this war escalates on June 13th. And there's a number of things that are interesting here. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. You learn this code, things start to make a lot more sense. Again, Kabbalah, the Cabal. Kabbalah is where the practice of coding numbers into words comes from. The Jesuits, again, gave us the language and the calendar, and the Jesuits have a very special fixation with this number 60. You learn about the Jesuits, you learn about history, you see all the things they're manipulating from Donald Trump to Israel. And of course, Donald Trump is Jesuit educated, having attended Fordham. So notice, from April 12th, 60 days, Donald Trump in Gematria is 60, Order 60. If you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. I have to remind in every video because this topic is foreign to almost everybody. Then again, maybe I should stop because we're not reaching a new audience. Maybe it's just the same people are hearing it over and over, thanks to the suppression of the algorithm. But again, the 4 base ciphers are the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. When the Jesuits were first recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, their order was limited by the Pope to 60 members. So order is 60, the Jesuit order is 201. The war escalates on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. And again, just with regards to the Jesuits in 60 and 201, go back to the day that Trump said he'd be running in the upcoming election, which was the 60th election. That same day, later that day, his ex-wife, fell down the stairs and died. And of course, she ended up getting buried on July 20th, the 201st day of the year. But even the cause of death, fell downstairs, had this triple overlap with the Jesuit order in Gematria. Again, it was in the time of the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year, which ran more than a typical calendar year. It went from May 20th, 2021, Cannonball Day, to July 31st, the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola, their founder, dying. Again, it was exactly 60 weeks into the first Jesuit Ignatian year that those things happened, reminding you who's really controlling the show, which I don't know why people question it. I mean, it is a fact that the Jesuits set up camp in Washington, D.C., and eventually the federal government was moved there, and eventually they changed inauguration day to the 201st day of the nation's age, which is 20/1. That's why we'd be sacrificing people and burying them on the 201st day of the year, just like Biden sacrificed his son 201 days before the first Jesuit Pope's birthday, the first Jesuit Pope and the first to live in Suite 201. But anyway, this 6201 thing's not an accident. And now here we are, right? Here we are. Trump gives the 60-day demand, and after it's failed, then it sets up the perfect narrative for once 60 days pass for the war to escalate on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Again, I don't know who else these number patterns could be connected to other than the Jesuits, who historically have a connection to 201 from being created 201 months after Martin Luther penned the 95 Theses, to Catherine the Great preserving the order with 201 Jesuit priests, to the first Jesuit Pope being the first to live in Suite 201, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Jesuit educated Trump, how he ties in with this. And then recall last year on October 1st, you had the 181 missiles fired by Iran at Israel, and we talked about how significant the 181 was. But notice from that day to June 13th was 256 days, which is the 201st composite number. Again, State of Israel 201, the Jesuit Order 201, the Holy Bible's 201, Jewish mysticism's 201, a gazillion rituals throughout history with Israel in 201. But something I overlooked last night too, I'd forgotten about this. The Jews have something called the 613 mitzvot, which are rules from God that come from the Torah. There's 613 rules connected to God and being a Jew that come from the Torah. Of course, Kabbalah is very much connected to the Torah, where this whole gematria thing comes from. So there's a couple that have to do with war in here. Rule 298, Levites will not partake in the spoils of war. It's interesting how that's in Deuteronomy 18:1, because remember how it was the 181 missiles fired that's connected to this day? And the other one is 607, appoint a priest to speak to the soldiers during war. That's Deuteronomy 202. It was still June 12th in the U.S., the big ally Israel who finances their military, the day leaving 202 days left in the year. And with regards to a priest, you think about the leader of the Jesuits, the superior general, Arturo Sosa. Some news sources reported that the first attack yesterday by Israel, we saw yesterday the BBC had it at 3:30 a.m. local time, 3:30. Again, 33 special number, right? Genesis 33, Bible 33, a lot of things 33, but act of war equals 33, war games 33. Anyhow, some news sources reported that the first attack was at 3:33 a.m., which is the 213th minute of the day, like how the attack was 213 days after the Superior General's birthday. But yeah, I just noticed that out of these 613 mitzvahs, 2 pertain to war, and they both seem to have standout numbers in light of the connected rituals here. Again, just to go back in history, the Rothschild, whose name is on the Balfour Declaration, that Rothschild was born February 8th, died August 27th, 201 days from his birthday. Again, you can see how Balfour Declaration has the 177 connection, like Benjamin Netanyahu, which is the other half of the Jesuit Order Code, 177 and 201. The Jesuit Order also 69, like Benjamin Netanyahu. And this ritual is also nicely connected with the current Pope, the 69-year-old Pope. Remember, Israel has a long history with the number 93 as well. Benjamin Netanyahu in reverse is 93, Knesset's 93, Iron Dome's 93. The United Nations drew up Israel on September 3rd. Today is 93 days before the upcoming Pope's birthday, the first American Pope. But yeah, if you missed yesterday's video, just quick recap of the 201s that are important. Again, State of Israel, Jewish mysticism, the Holy Bible, going with the 613 mitzvahs. Again, the Jesuit Order, who gave us the language and the calendar and who established Israel by the numbers out of the world wars that were instigated by the Jesuits by the numbers and the same patterns. Again, in history, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. Netanyahu stepped down from power on June 13th, 4 years ago, the day leaving 201 days. He came back on 1229, again, Albert Pike's birthday, where 1229 is the 201st prime. David Ben-Gurion in history died 201 days after Israel's establishment anniversary. Again, when $95 billion was sent to Ukraine and Israel, it was on the 201st day of the war in Israel, and that money was agreed to on Small Mustache Man's birthday, when Small Mustache Man's birth certificate name is Adolphus Hitler, which equates to 201. And again, he modeled the SS after the Jesuits. Biden and Putin, just how there's been a gazillion 201 rituals with the war in Ukraine as well. But Biden and Putin. Biden's also Jesuit educated, met with Putin on Pearl Harbor Day, 201 days after the first Jesuit Ignatian year ever began. And then the war began in the Donbass region, which equals 201. And it began officially on February 24th, which is the day in history that the Jesuit priest Christopher Clavius instituted the Gregorian calendar that now says this has happened on June 13th, 2025. Again, Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit, also died 201 days after the establishment anniversary of the Illuminati. And just about the CIA overthrowing, again, Iran back in the 50s on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th. Just another reminder. Again, Iran, CIA puppet state. The CIA's motto, the work of a nation, the center of intelligence, 201, just like in Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America's 201. The CIA was founded on the 201st day of the sitting Pope's age, 15 days after Israel was drawn up. How these things have been connected all throughout history. Go back and listen to Howard Hunt talking about how the greatest intelligence network in the world is the Jesuits. And here, I can even just play this clip real quick.
At CIA headquarters in the summer of 1953, Alan Dulles, the agency's director, recruits E. Howard Hunt as his propaganda chief in the plot to oust Arbenz.
And they took me into a small room in the agency and swore me a special oath. I must never tell what they were going to tell me.
The Americans' strongest ally inside Guatemala is the Catholic Church. The CIA contacts Cardinal Spellman in New York to take part in their psychological war against Arbenz. The Cardinal uses his authority to enlist the full cooperation of the head of the Guatemalan Church, Archbishop Arellano.
Cardinal Spellman convinced his counterpart in Guatemala to issue a pastoral letter several months before the coup, in which the Cardinal basically spelled out his message to the flock that they should rise up against the communists in Guatemala and overthrow them. And then the CIA took that pastoral letter and airlifted it around Guatemala.
We had gotten the okay from Cardinal Spellman to go ahead with this. And I wouldn't presume to trace the lines of authority within the Catholic Church, how they get their information, but they do. And we've always said, you know, in an admiring way, that the Jesuits formed the greatest intelligence service in the world, always have.
You got to love that. Clips 201 as well.
The Jesuits,
yeah, the way they get their information is through confession, through confessional. That's how they get their information. But, yeah, just coming back to this major escalation, the biggest story prior to today, this 181 missiles fired. Just a reminder, 181 is the 42nd prime number. Iran is 42, like war, like Hamas, like World War, like how just the other day we had 42 date numerology, and the U.S. warned its military and other related diplomats and, you know, people who serve the state in Iran to get out of the nation. That came on the 42 date numerology just the other day, 2 days before this happened. But yeah, Zionism, Jesuit, the word Freemason as well. Again, just the coup of Iran was on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th, back in 53. Again, we never got a memo that the CIA ever gave Iran back. And again, the U.S. needs these puppet states that are said to be threats to justify the crazy expenditures that the U.S. does on military, including the first ever $1 trillion military budget by Trump, which was a perfect Jesuit ritual, just like how Trump nominated Hegseth on the Superior General's birthday, November 12th, the leader of the Jesuits. But yeah, this 181 thing, again, 42nd prime, and remember what we said, World War III also equals 181, which fits because Netanyahu came back on Albert Pike's birthday, December 29th, Albert Pike, who penned the letter about 3 world wars, which is dated August 15th, 1871. Again, the Jesuit order's birthday, and that was addressed to Mazzini, the second leader of the Illuminati after Adam Weishaupt. So yeah, here we are now, 256 days later, the 201st composite on the day, leaving 201 days left in the year. And here, just to... I think I lost my post let me see here. Yeah, just again, how Balfour Declaration, Netanyahu, just how all these things tie in with this long history. Again, that Balfour, that Rothschild that's on the Balfour Declaration, dying 201 days from his birthday. Also noteworthy, 613, as we write the date here in the U.S., June 13th. Again, going with the 613 mitzvahs. That's the 112th prime number. Think about the day of the Balfour Declaration, November 2nd, 112. The Vatican's birthday, February 11th, can also be written 11/2 like 112. Catholicism equals 112, like Zionists, like Judaism, like mathematics, like theater. And think of the phrase, the theater of war. Think about the phrase, the world is a stage. They're showing strikes of Iran smashing Tel Aviv, and they're saying that no one was injured from those strikes today, which seems weird. It's like, okay, these huge explosions and no one's hurt. Again, you can never trust what the information in the media, but sometimes you do got to wonder how much of this is just theater to continuously keep the fear stoking, justify the incredible military expenditures, the money that the U.S. taxpayer gives to these foreign nations that are seen as political allies of the U.S. But yeah, just this whole history. I mean, if you have common sense, you should see that this is an impossible chain of events to just keep stringing together so perfectly mathematically. And again, understand there are people in the world who are into Kabbalah. These practices date all the way back to Babylon. To deny them is to deny reality and history and things that have been warned about. And the fact that this nation, the U.S., a lot of the founders were Freemasons, where Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah, as Albert Pike wrote about. Again, Freemasonry has a lot of ties with the Jesuits. Several of the rites of Freemasonry were written by Jesuit priests, including the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, sharing the motto with the Jesuits in Marum Dei Gloriam. But okay, also, this is the kill date, right? Again, we had all the kill dates circled at the beginning of the year, and we point out how this year, one of them fell last month on Israel's birthday, and then the next one was today, June 13th, the anniversary of Netanyahu dropping out. Again, what makes the kill date is the date numerology. The paths today are 64, 44, 28, just like it always is on the kill date, and it's mathematical. Next month, it's July 12th. The month after that, August 11th, so on. But you see the four base ciphers of kill, 44, 17, 64, 28. Zion has all those same numbers. Israel has three of the four same numbers. Military and Netanyahu, again, are 44. Theodor Herzl, the founder of Zionism, dead at 44, 44 years before Israel was established. Like a headline like this, right? Israeli strikes kill some of Iran's most powerful men. And then how many men do they show you in this CNN article? Major General Hussein Salami, one of the two pronunciations, Major General Mohammed Bagheri, Ali Shamkhani, and Amir Ali Hajzidah. And again, just so you know, that those are I copied and pasted all this from the whole article. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the occult, 4 is associated with death. Obviously, 44 is the rep digit of 4. But it's just such blatant mockery. And this is why we always circle the kill dates, and we just say, just watch how the headlines unfold when the kill dates come around. It's usually very weird celebrity deaths, so often very young celebrities, or horrible things like this, big escalations of war, terrible mass shootings, cars running into crowds, killing a whole bunch of people. This stuff happens over and over and over on the kill date. And like I said last night, I've been covering this since Dick Gregory died, and that was almost 3,000 days ago now. So for 3,000 days, educating about this same pattern, and you just think that this kind of stuff, you'd see more and more people talking about in 2025 and going, okay, you know what? 5 years ago, I was skeptical, but man, this has been going on every month, stuff like this, every time it rolls around. And last month on Israel's birthday, it was a whole bunch of dead people in Gaza on the kill date. And that's over Hamas, right? Which is backed by Iran. That has the same gematria as Iran in war. So. And then again, you read these stories, they say they also killed a whole bunch of scientists. And just think about that. Is that a good thing that a whole bunch of scientists are killed? Intelligent people? Rare people? No, I mean, if you think that's a good idea, you're an idiot. No, it's not a good idea to kill intelligent people. And again, if you're out there going, well, we don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons, just seriously, on what moral ground does the U.S. stand on to say that anybody can have nuclear weapons? We're the only country that's used nuclear weapons on another nation, and it was uncalled for. The war was already over. The war was over. And you guys know what day here, August 15th, 1945, Japan surrender on the Jesuit order's birthday? On the Jesuit order's birthday, just like we saw Afghanistan collapse on the Jesuit order's birthday, like Iran was overthrown on the Jesuit order's birthday. Here, just another one of these major league coincidences. Emperor Hirohito, for the record, look at this. He was the 102nd Emperor of Japan. Let me just pull this up, and I'll show you why it matters again. 102, where's it at? Hold on, where's it at? Did they remove this from his Wikipedia? Hold on. Am I getting something confused? Maybe I'm getting something confused right now. I could have sworn. There's something about Hirohito. Okay, it looks like I have that mistaken. My bad. But there is something about 102 in this emperor. Maybe it's his name gematria. Is that what it is? Okay, it's his name gematria. Remember how Trump just gave his 60 day, got 60 days to make a deal, Iran, and then after that expired, now we're here. But you see the 102, 114 in his name? Again, Art of War is 102 and 114. The book credited to Sun Tzu. The Jesuit order logo is the sun. The reason people know about Art of War is because of Father Amiot, the Jesuit priest who translated the text. But Art of War is 102, 114. World War is 102 and 114. Do you see the 42 as well? Just like how Hirohito had the 42 and Japan had the 42. And notice Pearl Harbor as well, what got us into the war. Pearl Harbor has the 114, also has the 60. Here we are again with the 60 stuff. But again, the surrender just happened to occur on the Jesuit order's birthday, of all days. And understand, the Jesuits have been in Japan and the Far East for way longer than the United States of America has existed. Yeah, the Jesuits are well established worldwide. The Jesuits got into the Far East in the 16th century. The U.S. didn't even exist yet. These people have had influence in these countries for a long time. Yeah, last night, the first of these deaths that they announced was this man, and we just happened, we said, look how the guy's name overlaps with Jesuit order, and he also has the 207 in his name, just like the priest who translated Art of War, Jean Joseph Marie Amiot. As for Iran striking back today and hitting Tel Aviv with no injuries, supposedly from these strikes with the big explosions shown on the TV, just look at the overlap with Tel Aviv, Israel, where the 28 and 44 fit in with the kill date, where they fit in with the military. And just for the record, you know how the war began on October 7th. Military equals 107 and 44. 107 is the 28th prime number. The Antonio Brown story that's in the news today, we covered that this morning. It's 28 days from the attempted murder, so he's in the news for trying to kill somebody. And again, it's the 164th day of the year, and just news by the numbers all day, every day. Antonio Brown, 164, another big story here in the U.S. They're out looking for the former NFL star. But yeah, another thing to stand out, in light of how Trump's connected to this, from the start date of the war, which was a Saturday, the anniversary of us going into Afghanistan, to Trump's upcoming 79th birthday, exactly 88 weeks on the nose, big number with Trump and Jewish. And again, the first time around when he was in president, you had the headlines about how some people through the Hebrew gematria code think Trump is the Jewish Messiah. We were covering those stories years ago now. And I remember in isopsophy, the Greek form of coding numbers into words, 888 is associated with Jesus, who most Jews consider the false Messiah because he didn't fulfill the majority of the prophecies to be the Jewish Messiah. And for all you guys who are Christians, you really should look into those things because there is a long list of things that Jesus didn't fulfill. And you should consider these things, right? Because Christianity is based on Judaism, like the Old Testament came first. And in the Old Testament, it's laid out what you have to be the Jewish Messiah. So if you look at Jesus and his resume, and it's like, okay, he didn't check all these boxes. How could he be the one? And realize this is why, the Jews had him put to death in Rome, because they said he was a false prophet, a false teacher. You really should think about all these things, right? But I do want to make this point, too, because his author name, right, Donald J. Trump, has that 148, and in Sumerian gematria, that equates to 888, and we've talked about some 888 rituals with Trump over the years. Again, in Greek isopsephy, 888 is the number that represents Jesus. So obviously Trump's not Jesus, but remember he did compare himself to Jesus on April 3rd, 2023, which is the day that science says is the day Jesus was crucified, and that's when Trump was getting the 34 charges in court. And just for the record, April 3rd can be written 4-3 like Jesus Christ is 43, or it can be written 3/4 like Jesus is 34 and so is cross. And it's also the 93rd day of the year like crucifix is 93, like God's son is 93, like Nazareth is 93. Again, very special number to the occult. Jesus, the Son of God. They say the sun in the sky is 93 million miles away on average. Again, Order of Illuminati has the 93 connection. The Catholic Church, the sun worshipers, today's 93 days before the Pope's birthday. Illuminati alone is also just 150, like how they say the sun is also 150 million kilometers away. Anyway, Trump's got a lot of Illuminati connections too. And here's the other thing about, the sun and Trump. Trump is turning 79 years old tomorrow, and that matters because Trump said this is the golden era. And gold is the 79th element on the periodic table. And of course, he's known as the man with the golden flowing hair. Keep in mind, Knights Templar and Society of Jesus also equate to 79. The Society of Jesus are the Jesuits who have the Templar cross. And the reason modern day Israel is where it is because the Templars used Al-Aqsa Mosque again as their headquarters and called it Solomon's Temple, which was believed to be largely adorned with gold. And remember, in Israel, they've been selling the temple coin since Trump's first time in office, which is raising money to eventually build the third temple where Al-Aqsa Mosque is. And I'll just remind you guys that last time around was the 58th election where Trump announced from the 58-story Trump Tower, and he was the apprentice, where the honored apprentice is the first degree of Freemasonry, which equals 58, like secret society does, like Solomon's Temple equals 58, and so does Herod's Temple, and so does Third Temple. I think if we live long enough, we are eventually going to see total chaos come to Temple Mount, one of the most religiously contested sites in the world. Temple Mount has the 46 and 53 like religion. And of course, Catholic is 46. And Sol Invictus is 46. And Chaos is 46. And Ordo Ab Chao, the Latin for Order Out of Chaos, is 46. I think this is where it's all eventually leading to. One great big destructive act, and I imagine it would come in the time of a major war like the Third War, which Albert Pike wrote about, which is supposed to be centered on political Zionism. I don't see how you have a major war in that region and that place doesn't get destroyed. So, this whole thing with the Templars and their history and Trump being 79 right now, or about to be tomorrow. And again, the temple coin in Israel has Trump and King Cyrus's face on it and the third temple on the other. We've been talking about this for a long time. Like, are they showing that this thing is imminent? That's been speculated on for a long time. So, yeah, anyway, that is the latest, and I'm sure there's a lot more going on because these things are always super multifaceted. Let me open up the phone line, and let you guys add in your 2 cents. The call-in number is that number at the bottom of the screen. You can see that says 509-560-4982. I got the line open. I'm gonna do it the way where I connect the calls through the call board rather than play it through the mic. You guys let me know who watched the majority of streams if it's a better sound quality and easier for you to hear when I run it this way. So yeah, if you guys want to call in, the line is open. Thank you to the super chatters. I see we have a few donations. Mentalect chipped in a big 7, said Israel was always going to attack XRP and Trump supports Israel strikes. Are we talking about the Ripple coin, which equals 201? And there's a lot of 201 rituals with the Ripple coin. Hold on, I got to thank some more super chats. But we got Marcus calling in first.
Hey, how's it
what's
going,
up, Marcus?
sir? Man, everything's good, man. Just getting in and I saw you were going live. I'm like, anytime I get an opportunity when you're going live, I always like to be a part of the show, man. I hope I wasn't an earbender the other day, but I was only telling the truth, Zach. And based off the information that you have given today, it's all evident of the things that are taking place in our world right before our very eyes, but some of us don't have the ears to hear or the eyes to see. So all I want to say, and I'll be very, very brief today, Zach, because I realize you just opened the line and a million people want to get on, so I'll be brief. Man, all I want to say is the same thing that I say every time when you're online. Just continue on and keep on keeping on. Keep the faith. Don't let nobody pull you down, even though you're probably going to have some fucked up callers that's going to be saying some bullshit, even though that you're being shadow banded. But I'm going to tell you this, Zach. Those that do it the right way, you're going to have some persecution that come your way. So the persecution that comes your way is simply because you're doing it the right way. Whoa. That's it. That's it. That's all it is to it, man. And people can't see it because their eyes are closed and they are being blinded by the same system that's going to hell, will hold them captive, take away their liberties, take away their freedoms. But, Zach, they still don't get it, man. But I tell you what, if I could say anything to you, continue on to be that voice that's crying out in the wilderness to seek, save, and help the people that's lost. Because, Zach, if you go away, man, it'll be turbulence out here. We'll have all of these people pushing merch. We'll have all these fake-ass channels that's not pushing Gematria. We'll have all these people that's getting hundreds of thousands of views based off BS, even though all of that's going to happen anyway. But, brother, you can't stop because your time is going to come, Zach. I know I really can't motivate you because I learned this knowledge because of you. And I know a lot more that's going on in the world because of you, even when it comes to sports and so many other things, man. I really just can't enumerate on all of your accomplishments that you have just done down through the years if people would just tell the truth. But I just want you to just be encouraged and stay encouraged and, do it for Sweet Lady. Do it for Little Sweet Lady, man, because guess what? Little Sweet Lady got to grow up in this world too, man. And I know you want her to be knowledgeable too. So keep doing what you're doing. I don't care if you just get down to one follower. It don't matter. Keep going, Zach. I love you, bro. I love what you do. Love your work. I've been in this over 10 years with you. So continue on to do what you do, man. Keep your head up. Damn those people that's making the money because you already know what that is. They shadow ban your channel around the globe. And they actually make it to whereas you can't get this, you can't get that. They'll much rather see somebody else do it. Don't be discouraged about that. Continue on to go, Zach, because you mean a lot to this community. I don't want to take it personal and say you mean a lot to me, but I've been down with this channel since like day one, man. So do what you do. I love you. Stay encouraged. Take care, Sweet Lady. Take care, Little Sweet Lady, man. I love you, man. And everybody around the world, let's continue on to support this work. Don't leave him out there by himself because it's because of him we have the knowledge. And don't you all get full of yourself around the world with you all channels simply because you feel as though you may have figured something out, but you learned it from Zach if you want to just tell the truth. So let's keep the truth, support the real, right on with the real, to hell with the fake. All these people out here with merch and all this, that ain't how Zach coming at us. He got the truth for us. Let's continue on to be a part of that, be a part of this community. And that's all I'm going to say, Zach. Thank you for this little segment in time worldwide. I thank you, brother.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Thanks again, Marcus. You have a good day.
Yes,
Right,
yes sir.
The next super chat was about Sweet Girl, so I decided I better put her on the screen. She is a lot nicer to think about than all the ugliness in the world. Gabriella says, Ruby is straight up precious. That post totally made my day. You and Sweet Lady made such a sweet soul. For real, you make the cutest little humans. Well, so far we got one. Mom right now is saying that a minute ago she wanted 3, but now she's saying, if we have another one, I want to get a surrogate mother. It's just too hard on my body. Her hands have been hurting. Some women get like arthritis from producing milk, so that's what she's been dealing with. What's up, 816?
I was listening to another podcast, if you will, and I found some interesting supportive information for you. Okay. I don't know if you ever heard. I think his name's Jim Levy. He was Jimmy Levy. He was a musician, starting down the path of like the dark side. Saw some of the evil stuff and switched his ways. And I have a link like right to the spot in case you want to play it. But he mentions Gematria.
Okay. Yeah. Where do I go?
Would I go into the chat?
YouTube doesn't really let people post other people's links, but if you just want to tell me the video and timestamp, I could look it up.
Okay, great. Exposing the dark secrets of the satanic music industry. It's on Human Garage TV.
I see that. Okay, I
channel.
See it.
Okay, right, and then you want to go to 5203.
5203. All right, so somebody else talking about Gematria. Nice there. All right, let me see. 5203. I can get it to 5202. All right, here, let's take a listen real quick.
And how much is like numerology, astrology, 369, all of these, methods that people are using to navigate their day, are they using that in these rituals?
They use Gematria, but...
What's that?
Keeping it vague.
I'm going to keep it vague.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, keep it
because
vague.
Because it's going to...
There's a time. There's a time.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Yeah. I'll just say that they're very aware of dates, specific dates to do their rituals, specific dates that things are going to happen, and they are in control of everyone's betting life, the scores on games that everybody's watching, which is another
This guy's a Patreon subscriber, I guarantee it.
Distraction ritual.
That's actually coming out now, like the scripting of sports and
big games,
and also like the knowledge that 50% of the child trafficking happens.
All right, for the caller, since I'm not familiar with these people, is Jim Levy the man here with the white hair?
No, he's the other guy with the beard.
Oh, and he's the guy who said they use Gematria. That's who he is.
Yeah, and apparently, in that interview, he was promised a contract. They were going to sign him, but basically silence him, and was promising that he would be like the male version of Adele. And he almost did it, and then realized what he was doing, so he left it and created his own path.
Okay, very interesting.
Anyways, I wondered if he had studied under you after hearing him speak, but I thought you'd like to know about it.
I have a feeling he has. Yeah. All right, Jimmy Levy. If you guys want to check him out, I appreciate him getting the knowledge out there a little bit. He was like hesitant to say anything for a minute. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, nice to see other people talking about the knowledge. All right, yeah, it is that 509 number if you guys want to call in. Just a Sojourner chipped in 5. Thank you so much. Gabriella again. I think she tried to drop a link. But Gabriella, if that's a link, I'm not exactly sure. 613 Talmud Joy Day Osmarians get Mi'kmaq. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that one, Gabriella. You're welcome to call in and clarify. Eloy Garcia, again with another 2, said, were you able to watch that video? Very subliminal. Not yet, Eloy. Not yet. What's up, 778?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, have you seen the new COVID variant, Nimbus?
Yeah, 181. Yeah,
181?
it happened right
Also
after the new pandemic declaration, which, again, was put out on Cannonball Day. Very important to the Jesuits. So, yeah, we talked about it a week or so back.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting with the Iranian 181 missiles. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, yeah. And again, 181, the 42nd prime, VACCINE equals 42. The face of those things right now is Bill Gates operating out of the 42nd state right next to the Space Needle, and he's part of that pandemic declaration. So, yeah, I don't think it's an accident, but appreciate it. All right. 810. What's going on, 810?
Hey, man, on the same topic as that girl just sent with the gematria connected to the music industry,
Uh-huh.
I actually went to Sacramento to record with this guy that was in the Death Grips band that David Bowie said was the personal future of music or whatever. Full moon and Saturn.
Hold on. Your call's breaking up. I'm going to try something out to see if it's your phone or it's my system over here. Rewind about 5 seconds and go ahead. Start. Why not just start over? Go ahead.
So I went to Sacramento to record with the guy that was in Death Grips for a while. This band is kind of on the topic of that shit being connected to gematria, the music industry and everything that you already know. But it's the personal experience where I went to record with one of my favorite musicians. I find out someone sends me a video of Death Grips had some ritual connected to I think Ariana Grande with a gematria ritual. And I was like, holy fuck, that's my favorite drummer. And I was out there living with his old best friend, and David Bowie said they were the future of music. And David Bowie died on
I can pull it up.
I'm pretty sure.
I know his death was close to Scott Weiland's because there was a connection with the two of them.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was a full moon, I think, but the full moon might have been in Saturn or whatever, and Saturn, the last album was Black Star, so I thought that might have been some interesting symbolism.
David Bowie, 1947 to 2016. It's crazy the way time flies. I can't believe it was almost a decade ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy I was living with actually had a cast face. It was this see-through mold. Only one was made in the world. And he would put it on once in a while. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah. He died January 10th, 2016. He died on a date with 47, numerology like rocks 47.
Oh, wow. Isn't 47 used a lot?
Huh?
47's used a lot, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Prince died 47 days before his birthday. His death was just before Prince's. Prince died April 21st. So he died 101 days before Prince. Go back and look at all that stuff. Go ahead.
But, yeah, that was pretty much just the previous caller kind of logged my memory on the topic of the music industry connected to gematria. So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're having a little bit of trouble with your call, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you, 810.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Take care. See. Yeah, I heard most of it, but some of it was broken up. I think he might have been in a bad spot or something. I should go back and look more at David Bowie's death. I bet there's a lot that I didn't catch back then. A lot of times I go back to my 2016 decode. I didn't even know reverse gematria when David Bowie died. I wasn't covering that yet until the end of 2016. Yeah, that's right. David Bowie, 2 days before his death, which was his birthday, had this album Black Star and the song Lazarus. Of course, Lazarus is resurrected. And I think maybe I didn't put it in this post, but oh, here we go. Scott Weiland, David Bowie. Yeah, David Bowie's last album, Stone Temple Pilots album. Scott Weiland's the singer for Stone Temple Pilots. Number 4. Yeah. Weiland died in Minnesota, too, just before Prince died in Minnesota. And Weiland died 38 days before Bowie, like Minnesota, Chanhassen, death, murder, killing, RIP. They're all 38. So. Yeah, if you guys ever want to go back and do additional research, you go find my post from early 2016. A lot of those things, there's a whole lot of gems to be turned over that I wasn't seeing yet because I wasn't applying the reverse gematria. So, all right, we got a little bit off topic there, but yeah, David Bowie, that was a big death at the time. I got about 20 minutes until I got to go get Sweet Girl. Shout out to Trevor Pinkston who sent a Cash App. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys have anything to add to what's going on there with Israel and Iran, I would assume somebody's got a gem that I'm not seeing. You know, there's a whole lot more to this. You got to love the 44-second story from CIA, CNN. Israel's spy agency shows how they attacked Iran from within. Ah, well, I know who operates from within. That's the old Jesuit thing. Got to infiltrate the power of intelligence networks. Here we can see, while we wait on the next call, we can see what else is buzzing in the news here. How's everyone covering this today? Let's see what Al Jazeera's got. BBC. Sirens sound across Israel. And you know, I mean, something to think about too is if this does escalate a lot and World War III is on the cusp, for all you guys who think small hats run the world, it could be a very bad time for small hats again, just like it was in World War II. Yeah, it's like some weird way to run the world when, you know, they keep having to be the guinea pigs and get the worst of these major world events. Nobody had to take more pokey-dokes than the small ones in Israel during Cooties 19. What do you know? France would help defend Israel if attacked by Iran, says Macron. Of course, the Jesuits were created in France. Iranian missile attacks injure at least 21. Okay, earlier they said no injuries or deaths, no one. Now it's at least 21. Does that seem like a little Jesuit tribute? At least 21? Again, this whole 21st century has been the Jesuit takeover. At least 21. More than 200 targets struck in Iran. I'm surprised they didn't just throw a big fat 201 right out there. Of course, they're right in the neighborhood. All right, let's see what the BBC's reporting. Yeah, it looks like the big focus has just become the strike on Tel Aviv. Yeah, it looks like that's the latest story. MSNBC's sticking with the Senator Padilla as the top story right now. Okay. If you missed work on that, again, just very obvious ritual on Papa Bush's birthday, Mr. Order 322, and Senator Padilla, born on 322. And again, it was when Papa Bush was leaving office that NAFTA was passed, which is the bill that destroyed Mexican farmers, which caused a lot of illegal immigration, which was warned about even before the bill passed, because it was very understood that if that bill passed, it was going to destroy the small Mexican farmer, which was a lot of the nation. And this is the problem with these mega corporations allied with these mega corporations, where they make deals that just grow the corporation and destroy the individual. And essentially that's what's happened. That's where we are at this point in life. You know, a lot of people feel completely powerless because they know how powerful the state is, and essentially the fascist alliances between the state and corporations. We got a Big Al sighting. Let's see what Big Al's got for us. What's up, Big Al?
Hey, I just wanted to remind you, man. I don't know, somebody put something you said about Ripple or XRP, right?
Yeah.
Tell them what we were just talking about the other day, what you found out, the 589 in Trump.
Oh, if you guys look, if you look up, there's some secret mysterious thing about 589 and Ripple or XRP, and Jewish gematria, Donald Trump equals 589, and we know he's 78 this year. Like cryptocurrency equals 78, also like the Ripple coin, and we said it should have a big day on the 78th day of the year, which it did. But yeah, Trump,
they just bought that Hidden Road for 125 million, right? Just like the fucking lawsuit was 125 million. We know that's a numerology number, but go look at Hidden Road's main address. It's fucking 589, people.
Yeah.
What a fucking joke. And then they give this other address of 850. It's in Delaware, like Templar's 85, and it's in suite or room 201.
Yeah, like the Ripple coin's 201. Yeah.
You fucking you unraveled all their fucking schemes, dude. I can't believe that people still can't see through this, man. It's just that's the part that blows my mind. If people still can't see what the fuck's going on.
Well, now nobody can even find the word. That's the problem. We can't even reach anybody. Again, my analytics shows zero new audience every month. Zero new audience
every day, man.
Yeah.
People are just, I don't know what it would take. It's going to take something to where it's too late, most likely. So that's the unfortunate thing of it. Once it's too late, then motherfuckers care, you know?
Yeah, indeed.
I just wanted to bring that up, man, the 589 thing, and just what a joke it all is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Big Al, appreciate that.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. 480?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, hello. Hey, something with that plane crash that happened today, because you know how it was like, oh, they added 48 people, to that list. I was like, that's like weird. So I looked up American 11, the flight that crashed, and then on the Wikipedia it has a picture from 4/8/2001. Like, you know how they put little pictures? I'm like, that's weird. Why would they have a picture of the plane from that day? Like it's on the ground though. And then from that day, 4/8/2001 till yesterday was 8,830 some days, which like whatever days it was 1,100 prime number. I'm like, okay, that's like weird with it. And then if you put in like American 11, like with the ones counting on the calculator, it equals 163 and 48. And yesterday was the 163rd day of the year. And then so it's just a lot of connections with that, with that flight. And then I don't know. On that, I was just like searching what happened on that day, and Tiger won the Open that day, which is weird. And he beat out David Duvall, which his birthday was 11/9. So I don't know. Like I just, it was just weird that they had that date on there with all the 11s of American Airlines flight 8811, and that Survivor.
Okay.
So it's just basically, just some people don't, like they had that plan since then, Like yesterday's flight crash, was, planned from, 9/11, since around that time. Because all that stuff like linked with it. I think, anyways. It's just weird that all that stuff, equals on there.
Yeah.
And then, And then April 8th also equals 68, which that's when the whole thing with the towers and stuff happened.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right.
You know, it's funny how it's day 616 of the war. Tomorrow will be day 617, which is the 113th prime. It's funny, it's 113 out here on the West Coast, so I say that. But 616 is that number that some people argue is the true number of the beast. That's interesting. It is interesting that you get this major escalation. And keep in mind, that means in 50 days, it will be 666 days. What is 50 days from today? June 13th. So 17 days is the end of the month. 31 days is the end. So August 2nd must be 666 days after the war began. August 2nd. Isn't that Tisha B'Av? Hold on. What days is Tisha B'Av this year? Isn't it August 2nd and August 3rd? Hold up. Tisha B'Av dates 2025. Wow. Hold on. Tisha B'Av's to remember the destruction of the temples. So that, if my math's right here, hold on. October 7th, 2023. Again, you count. See, that's why some of you guys get so confused on this. Today's 615 days after the war began, or the 616th day. I have people in my comments say, oh, you're manipulating by doing that span. It's like, no, I'm not manipulating. That's a correct measurement. So hold on. August 2nd. So that is weird. August 2nd will be the first day of Tisha B'Av will be the 666th day of the war. And the second day of Tisha B'Av will be 666 days after it began. And remember what we talked about at the beginning of the year with that nightclub collapse in the Dominican Republic and how that was pointing to Tisha B'Av as well. And that's more connected to the World Series. If you missed my work on that, you might want to go back and look at everything we said. Yeah, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. But wow, okay. And realize August 2nd in the majority of the world is oh God, hold on. Isn't Tisha B'Av equal 82? It does. And it equals 28 as well, like how the date can be written 8-2 or 2-8. And 9th of Av, which is the English way to say it, is also 134, kind of like Israel's birthday is the 134th day of the year. And I've made this point many times in the past. It makes me think that from the time Israel was created till whenever they're planning to do this thing at Temple Mount has been a long time coming. Again, Israel did turn 77. We know Judaism, Zionists, United States, they're all 77. 330, go ahead.
Hey, Zach, this is Gabriella, and I'm here with my 6 daughters. Everybody say hi.
Did you say 6 daughters? Hello. That's a lot of girls.
I have 6 girls.
Amazing.
And we all love. Everybody wants to know what 47 is.
But you guys must be joking. You know what 47 is, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
We're just being silly.
I appreciate
my
that.
daughter Alicia here, she wants to read you what we came across in our own findings. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alicia. We noticed that the day Israel attacked Iran 613, according to the Megillat Tahanit, a Talmudic list of joyous days, this day commemorates the Hasmoneans recaptured Migdal Sur from the Greek oppressors, a minor celebratory moment in Jewish history. This choice of day seems to be symbolic of Israel's retaliation against their oppressors. I passed 6th grade.
So we just wanted to let you know that.
Well,
it's a celebratory day on the Talmud.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Great additional research.
We know where Talmud is, that the Zionists are, which leads us all back to all those head peoples. And then you connected it to the Tisha B'Av, which is they're doing these things on the Jewish calendar. They have been the whole year.
Yep. Hi. Yep. Hello.
So
Hello.
That's all we want to say. And everybody, did you guys love the post of Ruby? We loved it. We thank you. We love your work. And a shout out to everybody in the chat. And Rick James especially. You guys are good people.
Well, thank you for sharing this with your 6 daughters. It's much appreciated. And it was great to talk to you. Have an excellent day.
Thank you. You too, Zach.
All right,
Bye.
take care. Bye. Bye. Yeah, have a good one. Enjoy the weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Do we have any fathers out there teaching their 6 sons gematria? Can we get an equal match from the other gender? That family's either my analytics are lying or they're defying the odds. It says my audience is down to 18% women the last time I checked, which was about a week ago. And I used to be about at 25%. So I said, somehow I'm losing the ladies down to 18%. But that family, maybe that's all 18% of them right there. Yeah, this is tripping me out, the Tisha B'Av thing. Man, you guys, wouldn't it be something if we're that close to something just that horrific? A purposeful, well-coordinated and timed destruction of one of the most religiously contested spots in the world. And wouldn't it be something if it was a big old 666? It does make me think things are going down August 2nd. Let's just look at how some other things are connected. Let's look at King Cyrus and Trump real quick, because again, those are the two heads on the temple coin that's being raised to eventually build the third temple there. So Trump's birthday to the start of Tisha B'Av. What do I got wrong here? 49 days or the 50th day of Trump's age. Revelation is 49, you guys. Again, this does have a tie-in with Revelation. These are like acts considered to be symbolic of Revelation. And then the other wild thing about that is at the beginning of the baseball season, when I was talking about how the building collapsed, what it had to do with the Mets and Juan Soto and his contract and Octavio Dotel's death, and how it pointed to that date, which is Tisha B'Av, which is about to remember the destruction of a building, like how that building collapsed on all those people and killed all those celebrities there. This year is the 121st MLB season. It'll be the 121st World Series. That's another Revelation number. And you see how Revelation also has the 59 connection. And you just saw the Eagles, Philadelphia, win Super Bowl 59 when Church of Philadelphia is mentioned in Revelation. New York does have the 666 connection through Sumerian. And again, New York and what happened there on 9/11 and us invading Afghanistan on October 7th, which now becomes the anniversary date of when this current war in Israel started, that's escalating more and more as time goes on. And I wish people were bigger. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the guy that was in the community who came out to Buffalo and New York and Oklahoma City and got into it the weekend of this war beginning because he was like trying to play it down. For whatever reason that week, he was like, oh, yeah, Zach's exaggerating. This Israel thing's going to be out of the headlines in no time, just like always. And I was like, why is he doing this? Like, why is he making videos saying this stuff when we predicted the day Netanyahu came back why this war was going to begin in Israel and it would be significant right around Yale's 322nd birthday? Again, the war did begin 2 days before Yale turned 322. And now this great escalation happens while it's still Papa Bush's birthday anniversary in the U.S., who went to Yale, who was a member of Order 322. In this Kabbalistic number, but all right, 49 days after Trump's birthday. I just got to run the Gematria on Temple Coin. I can't remember what it is. Temple Coin. God, it is. Come on, man. That's weird. In the back of my mind, I thought maybe it was 49. So day 1 of Tisha B'Av's 49 days after Trump's birthday. Day 2 is 50. I talked about these things a gazillion times almost a decade ago. That's why it's still faintly there. And the Temple Coin does have that 112 thing as well. It's also got 158 like Freemasonry. And the temples are important to Masonic history. Again, Masonry's secrets are based in Solomon's temple, the first temple. Okay, how about from Netanyahu's birthday? And I got to look up King Cyrus as well. Now, from Netanyahu's birthday to... it would be 285 days or 286 or a span of 287 the second day, which is 41 weeks, which is a Zionism number. It's not quite as interesting, but that means it would also be 80 days to his upcoming birthday. 80 years since World War II ended. Khomeini's got the April 19th birthday, Ignatius of Loyola Day. That's 105 days later. That's a Bible number. It's a Masonry number. It's an Illuminati number. April 3rd, August 3rd, the second day would be 106 days after a prophecy number. The third temple is connected to prophecy. And it would also be a span of 107, like military, like the war began on 10/7. So, something's going down, you guys. It's to me, it seems pretty obvious that the fact that it's 666 days and Tisha B'Av is, again, these temples and this great cataclysm from World War, all of these things, because there's supposed to be a great cataclysm at the time of the Third Temple. Like, should I just stop doing gematria and start digging a hole in the backyard for Ruby in case that weekend gets extra hot? You know what I mean? We're going to make it, Ruby. We're going underground. We have a billionaire bunker, but we got a shovel. As they say, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But yeah, okay, that is the revelation of this stream, that Tisha B'Av is 666 days after the war began. Whoa. And again, you know, just again, here, one other point. Again, Tisha B'Av, 134. It's also known as the 9th of Av, which is the 11th day in the Jewish civil month, so it's like 9/11. But remember, that big number of Trump, too. Make America Great Again, 134. It's also 404, like there's 404 verses in Revelation. It's 163. When this war just started, it still was the 163rd day in the U.S., 91's like the Society of Jesus, which is the 13th triangular number, and here we are on the 13th of June. And think about it. The first $1 trillion military budget, is that a clue? One big, beautiful bill. The first $1 million or $1 trillion, it's One Big, Beautiful Bill Act, 134 and 91, like Make America Great Again. And it is 208, like 2nd of August, the first day of Tisha B'Av this year. Let me go back and see if they haven't deleted my post on Trump and the Temple coin. They've deleted so many posts. See if we still got our Trump Temple coin post from years ago. Global support for Third Temple coin. Breaking news March 5th, 2018. March 5th, 64th day of the year. Again, like Israel's 64, like Zion's 64. They can be written 5-3. Notice Temple Mount, again, it has the 53 connection like religion. It also can be written 3-5 like Catholic. Hold on, we got one more call and then I gotta go get Sweet Girl. What's up, Ann?
Hi there, Zach.
Hello.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, great. I was also thinking about August 2nd being J.D. Vance's birthday.
Oh, God, you're right.
His 41st birthday. Yeah. And personally, if we're looking at end of the, end times and number of the beast and stuff like that, that's the guy who I think fits the bill. But, I mean, that's just my own.
He'd become number 48, like Israel was established in 48. The AL too.
And he's from, exactly, yeah. Comparing him to Bush. Okay. Just wanted to drop that in. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Ann. All right. I do got to go get Sweet Girl. I wanted to look from this temple coin real quick and see if anything jumped out to me. It's 88 months and weeks and days. It's almost 89 months, but we know Trump in 88. It's like tomorrow's 88 weeks after the war began. In Hebrew, Israel also equals 64 for the record. Netanyahu's 44 in Hebrew and in English, like military. Oh, hold on. I got to get the King Cyrus piece in here. Do we have any dates for King Cyrus? Cyrus the Great. Oh, yeah. He was born in Iran. Yeah, it's all starting to make sense. They got Trump and Iranian leader. Yeah, we don't have any dates for him, though, because it's too long ago. But the Iran piece, okay, that makes sense. Everybody could predict it. When World War III comes, Iran will be involved. They've only been telling us that for all of our lifetimes. Cyrus the Great 181, like those 181 missiles, like World War III. Actually, God, there's a double overlap here with World War III. A triple overlap. Interesting. Maybe do some more research on the history of Cyrus the Great. There might be... To the Greeks, he was known as Cyrus the Elder and was particularly renowned among contemporary scholars because of his habitual policy of tolerance for people's customs and religions in the lands that he conquered. Similarly, he exalted in Judaism for his role in freeing the Jewish people from the Babylonian captivity by issuing the Edict of Restoration following the Persian conquest of Babylon. This event is described in the Hebrew Bible as the return to Zion, whereby displaced Jews were repatriated to what had been the kingdom of Judah, thus enabling the resurgence of Jewish life in the land of Israel. And again, this is, when Trump declared Jerusalem the capital. Jerusalem's another 58. That was after he won with a big asterisk the 58th election, because we know all these things are rigged. That's why his head went on the coin. Oh, they do associate a date with his death, December 4th. Let's see. Well, look at that. Thank you, Brian. Your Cash App scared me. What is that? I'm not used to these sounds. From his death anniversary to the start of Tisha B'Av is 241 days. That's the 53rd prime. Again, in case you need it one more time, because I've done too many numbers up here, Temple Mount is 53, just like religion. Temple Mount 53, religion 53. I don't think Tisha B'Av... Oh, Tisha B'Av is also 53. Wow. It's getting weirder and weirder, you guys. And they did just do the thing with 241 survivors in the plane crash, or not survivors, but 241 dead. At first they said all 242 dead. Then there was one survivor in seat 11A, and it was 241 days from the establishment of the airline, and planes and Israel and 9/11. I mean, here I gotta throw you one more thing before I go get Sweet Girl. I was overlooking this all these years. I've always talked about where Pan Am 103, like Bin Laden's birthday is 10/3. I was overlooking this all these years. Did you guys know that the founder of Pan American Airlines was a Skull and Bones member? Because he was. He was. And then what's interesting is he died at the very beginning of Reagan's presidency at age 81 in the year 81. And on that very interesting date, April 3rd, did Boeing take him out? Boeing has the 34 connection, but his name equaled 81. But again, the Pan Am 103 happened at the very end of Reagan's presidency. So he dies at the beginning of Reagan's presidency, and then Reagan's presidency ends with this, and Papa Bush was the vice president then, and then Papa Bush became the president, and then when he was president, he gave the speech about the New World Order 11 years to the day of 9/11. You know what I mean? And by the way, having gone to Yale, what day did he die on? He died on 4/3, April 3rd, like Yale's 43, like Papa Bush was the 43rd vice president. Eventually, George W. was the 43rd president, where it came down to the state where his brother was the 43rd governor, and that state is Florida, which equals 43. And something else I'd forgotten that I had in old notes, but just going over this last night, I was like, well, yeah, Pan American World Airways, 263, just like the flights on 9/11 that hit targets, at least so we're told. I'm pretty sure they were all computer-generated images. And if you doubt that that's true, just look up the first image put out of the plane supposedly hitting the tower where it flies all the way through with its nose intact. But the flights were 1177 and 175, which adds to 263, the 56 prime. And if you don't know the history of my recent channel that I lost, YouTube deleted the channel where we went from Seattle to New York and brought the truth seekers together city to city, spoke out all over New York City for the weekend of 9/11. Exactly 263 days after that 9/11, YouTube just deleted the whole channel, even though it didn't have any strikes on it. Said the channel violated the terms of service. And I got to close out with a rant about that too. This Asmongold guy, who YouTube just promotes everywhere, who gets millions of views a day, who if you do the math, makes looks like on average about $40,000 a day in ad revenue, which translates to over $1 million a month. He's always a Israel bootlicker, but he's recently going on rants in these videos that are getting 1 million views, talking about how he's hoping he sees the police and National Guard kill these protesters because aligns with his fantasies of back in the day playing Call of Duty and wanting to kill people and Grand Theft Auto and wanting to kill people. I'm like watching this and I'm just like, so this is within the lines of the terms of service. I guess when you want to see the state kill people, I guess that's, we know that YouTube is the state. Google is the state, but it's just like crazy too. It's like, oh, so this is safe. This is safe, right? He can get paid $1 million in ad revenue for this video talking about his fantasies that he learned from playing video games. It makes me sick, man. While my channel's demonetized for God knows what reason, I guess for knowing too much. It all just makes me sick, man. It does. It does. Thank you again to the people who super chat. Shout out to Rick James who chipped in 5 memberships, and the People's Narrative who chipped in $2.41. I think you just did that because of what we just found with King Cyrus. And by the way, what is just King Cyrus alone without Cyrus the Great? What's that? Because he's also known as King Cyrus. Oh my God, you guys. Are you seeing that? King Cyrus, 46 and 53 like Temple Mount? I got to remember all this later so I can put it in a post without forgetting it. All right, yeah, thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share and who does support the work. Surely this video will be demonetized within minutes of it posting because God forbid YouTube pay anybody for putting out the truth. That's a damn shame. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. Maybe I'll post some more. I probably will have to because I'm sure there'll be more crazy headlines. But yeah, again, don't live in fear. If they are going to blow up the world, there's nothing probably any of us can really do about it. So it's a reason to enjoy every last day. And they probably won't do that. Again, they fearmonger more than they will. But I do suspect there are some big things coming that Tisha B'Av weekend. And, you know, world wars have happened before. And a lot of people have survived them. And a lot of people have died as well. But as they say, again, prepare for the worst. Hope for the best. And really the best thing you can do as a person is just make sure in case, because here's what's going to happen when the next world war comes, whenever it comes. It's going to be all about cyber attacks and taking down the grid and interfering with communication, and they have us all on these cell phones and nobody has landlines anymore. So just have those kind of thoughts in play. Just like, you know, talk to your friends and family, say like, listen, we don't want to live like, you know, in pure anxiety and fear, but in case this kind of stuff does happen, let's make sure we have a plan. If we're all separated, where's our meetup spots? Where's our stash of water and food? Where's the safest place we can be? Whose house is the one we go to? Probably the one who lives in the most rural place. You know, sadly, you know, those are the kind of times that we live in, and there are things worth thinking about. But like I said, there's no point in living in fear. So, but yeah, having a plan. An ounce of preparation is worth a pound of cure. And don't forget that movie they put out at the beginning of the year, too, with Robert De Niro in the Fordham sweatshirt and the president, who was a black woman, in the Stanford sweatshirt when Trump went to Fordham and Kamala went to Stanford. That's about the grid being taken down, and then you find out by the end of the show it was people within the government that took down the grid. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, yeah, I do got to go get Sweet Girl. I'm going over time here. Thanks again to everyone who does hit the like and the share and helps get out the work. And thank you to the people who helped us raise $23.38. Much appreciated. Till next time.